They said he was dangerous. They said no one should ever leave a child near him, because behind those cold eyes and that massive frame was a dog everyone feared. He was once a guard dog, trained to fight, trained to survive, never to love. Neighbors whispered about his past. Even the mailman crossed the street when he saw him. But deep inside that heart of steel was a quiet longing, a wish to be seen not as a monster, but as someone who could protect, not harm. When the family brought home their newborn baby, everything changed. The scent of milk, the sound of tiny cries. Something awakened in him. He would sit by the nursery door every night, head resting on his paws, listening. He never barked, never moved, just waited. Days passed. The baby grew stronger, and yet no one dared to let the dog near her. The father feared his size, the mother feared his strength, but the dog feared only one thing, being misunderstood. Until one morning, the world turned silent. The mother awoke to find the baby's cries gone. Panic rushed through her veins as she ran across the hall, her heart pounding like thunder. She pushed open the door and froze, her breath caught in her throat. There, on the white couch, the scene was something out of a dream. The giant dog had climbed beside the baby, one powerful paw wrapped gently over her tiny chest, his eyes soft, his body still. The sunlight poured through the window, bathing them in gold. The baby slept soundly, her tiny hand gripping the dog's fur as if it were her mother's warmth, and the dog, the one everyone feared, guarded her like a guardian angel in fur and muscle. In that single moment, every rumor, every fear, every warning vanished. Because sometimes the biggest hearts come in the most misunderstood forms. And sometimes love chooses the unlikeliest protector. The pit bull's name was Titan. Strong, silent, and misunderstood. No one ever dared to walk past their gate when he was around. His bark alone could silence the whole street. But inside those eyes was a story no one cared to see. He wasn't born cruel. He was made that way by people who didn't love him. Years of neglect had turned him into a ghost of who he once was. Until one kind family took him in, giving him food, space, and silence. He never caused harm, never raised his voice. He only wanted to belong. When the woman became pregnant, the air in the house changed. Titan could sense it. A new heartbeat, fragile and pure. He'd rest his head near her belly, listening to the faint rhythm of life. Every kick made his tail move slightly. He didn't know what was coming, but he knew it mattered. When the baby finally arrived, the family's joy turned into fear. What if he hurts her? They whispered. He's too big, too strong, the father said. So Titan was locked out of the nursery. He didn't bark, he didn't resist. He simply lay down beside the door and waited. Day after day, night after night, waiting for permission to love. Every cry of the baby echoed through the walls. Titan's ears would lift, his body tense, not from anger, but concern. He wanted to go inside. He wanted to comfort the tiny voice calling in the night. But every time he took a step closer, the family's fear pushed him away. He'd retreat to his corner, eyes low, heart heavy. The mother watched him sometimes, confused by his calmness. There was no aggression, no growl, only longing. She began to wonder if they were wrong about him. He wasn't a monster, just misunderstood. One evening, the baby's cries grew louder, piercing and desperate. The mother was exhausted, half asleep on the couch, and Titan couldn't take it anymore. He walked to the nursery door and pressed his paw gently against it. The sound softened for a moment, as if the baby could feel his presence. It was the first connection. Silent, unseen, yet powerful. From that day, Titan refused to leave the door at night, no matter how cold or lonely it was. He would sleep there, guarding the baby he wasn't allowed to meet. Every sunrise painted his loyalty across the floor. He wasn't waiting for food. He wasn't waiting for praise. He was waiting for trust. It was a Sunday morning, quiet, calm, and full of light. The family was asleep, the baby resting in her crib. Titan lay in his usual spot outside the nursery door. Suddenly, a faint cough echoed inside the room, then silence, then another cough. Weaker, slower. Titan's head shot up. He knew something was wrong. He nudged the door gently. Whining low, no one answered. He pushed harder. The latch clicked open. The baby's tiny hands were cold, her breathing faint. Titan whimpered and licked her face softly. Still no movement. Panic filled his heart, but his instincts were calm. He curled his massive body around her, warming her with his fur. He stayed that way, heart beating steady against hers. Minutes passed. Then a faint cry broke the silence. The baby moved, tiny tears glistening on her cheeks. Titan exhaled deeply, eyes closing in relief. When the mother ran in, she froze. Her heart stopped. Her baby was safe, in the arms of the very dog she feared. And from that moment, everything changed. The news spread through the neighborhood like wildfire. The pit bull saved the baby, they said. The same people who once crossed the street to avoid him now came to see him. Titan didn't understand fame. He only understood love. The mother sat beside him, tears in her eyes. She stroked his fur and whispered, "I was wrong." For the first time, Titan rested his head in her lap. The fear between them dissolved into gratitude. Doctors later said the baby had stopped breathing due to cold shock, but Titan's warmth, his steady heartbeat, brought her back. He had become more than a pet. He was family. The father, once distant, built a small bed beside the crib for Titan. From that night on, he never left her side. He'd watch every movement, every yawn, every smile. When she cried, he'd whine softly. When she laughed, his tail would wag like sunlight. It was a bond that no words could explain. No human could replace the loyalty of that heart, and no fear could undo the trust he had finally earned. Months passed like pages in a warm storybook. The baby grew stronger, learning to crawl, to smile, to hold her tiny hands up. Titan followed her everywhere. Gentle, careful, protective. When she took her first step, he was right behind her, his giant head lowering, ready to catch her if she fell. They ate together, played together, and napped in the sunlight. Every photo the mother took captured something divine. Innocence beside strength. But one morning, something magical happened. The baby sat on the floor, looking at Titan with bright eyes. She opened her mouth, trying to form a word. "Ta," she murmured. The parents froze. "Tatan." Her first word wasn't mama, it wasn't papa, it was Titan. The dog tilted his head, tail wagging furiously. He pressed his forehead gently against hers. Tears filled everyone's eyes. The same creature once feared, once locked outside, and had become her first friend, her first protector. her first word. The sky cracked open with thunder. Rain lashed against the windows, echoing through the house. The lights flickered, then went out. Darkness filled every room. The baby stirred in her crib, frightened by the sounds. Titan was already awake. He padded over quietly, nose touching the crib's edge. Lightning flashed. A tree branch crashed outside. The baby screamed. Without hesitation, Titan climbed onto the couch beside her. He wrapped his body around the crib like a wall of warmth. Every thunderclap made him hold her tighter. His heartbeat became her lullaby. The mother lit a candle and found them like that, the baby asleep, Titan guarding her against the storm. Tears rolled down her cheeks as she whispered, "How could anyone ever fear you?" Titan opened one eye, calm and gentle. He wasn't afraid of thunder or lightning. He was afraid of losing her smile. All night long, he didn't move an inch. He took every sound, every shadow, every strike of rain, and turned it into protection. When the storm ended, dawn light spilled in. The baby woke first and reached out to touch his fur, and for the first time, he wagged his tail without fear. It was an ordinary afternoon. The baby was playing on the carpet while Titan watched nearby. Suddenly, the doorbell rang, sharp, unexpected. The mother was upstairs folding clothes. Titan's ears perked up instantly. He walked toward the door, muscles tense but silent. A man stood outside, unfamiliar. Nervous, he knocked again, louder this time. The baby giggled, unaware of danger. Titan positioned himself between her and the door. His body became a shield. When the man tried to open the door, Titan growled low, not with rage, but with warning. The sound froze the intruder in place. The mother rushed down. Frightened, she saw Titan standing firm, teeth bared, eyes focused. The man fled. The silence that followed was deafening. Titan turned, his expression softening the moment he saw the baby. He licked her cheek once, as if to say, "You're safe now." The mother hugged him, whispering, "You're not just a dog, you're our guardian." From that day on, no one doubted his loyalty again. He had earned his title, the protector of the house. The protector of the house. A year passed in laughter and warmth. The baby was turning 1. The family decorated the living room with balloons and ribbons. Titan sat quietly in the corner, watching every moment. He didn't understand birthdays, but he understood happiness. When everyone sang, the baby clapped and smiled at him. Titan wagged his tail, thumping it softly on the floor. When the cake was cut, the baby reached out, not for her parents, but for Titan. She wanted to share her first piece with him. The mother laughed through tears. They gave Titan a tiny slice. No icing, just pure love. He took it gently, eyes shining. Photographs captured that exact moment. A massive dog bowing his head beside a laughing child. It was innocence meeting loyalty. Later that night, after the guests left, the baby fell asleep holding Titan's ear like a toy. He didn't move, he didn't sleep, he just stayed, watching the tiny chest rise and fall, protecting her even in dreams, and somewhere deep inside, he finally knew he had found his forever family. One winter morning, Titan didn't get up, his tail didn't wag, his eyes didn't shine. The baby, now walking, toddled over to him. She patted his paw, confused. The family rushed him to the vet. Age had caught up to him. His heart was slowing. The doctor said he needed rest. The baby refused to leave his side. She brought her blanket and laid it over him. Titan's breathing was shallow but peaceful. When the baby placed her tiny hand on his nose, he opened his eyes. A faint smile, or something like it, appeared in his gaze. He nuzzled her one last time, as if memorizing her scent, her warmth, her heartbeat. The mother wept softly. The house felt heavier that night. Titan looked at the family, then at the baby, and closed his eyes in calm. He wasn't gone yet, just resting. Days passed, and slowly he recovered. The vet called it a miracle, but they knew the truth. It wasn't medicine that healed him, it was love. Pure, innocent love from the child he once wasn't allowed to meet. Years later, the baby had grown into a kind young girl. Titan's muzzle had turned grey, his steps slower, but his spirit never changed. Every morning, she'd hug him before school. Every night, she'd whisper, "I love you, Titan." Time moved forward, as it always does, and one peaceful morning, Titan didn't wake up. He lay on his favorite spot near the window, sunlight warming his fur, peace in his face. The family gathered, tears flowing silently. The girl knelt beside him, holding his paw. "Thank you," she whispered, voice trembling. "Thank you for protecting me when no one else dared. Thank you for proving that love is stronger than fear." They buried him under the oak tree in their garden, the same spot where he once watched her play. Every day, she'd place a flower there, not out of sadness, but gratitude, because Titan wasn't gone. His love lived in every heartbeat she carried. And whenever thunder roared, she'd smile softly, knowing somewhere, somehow, he was still guarding her, because true guardians never leave. They just move closer to heaven. Not every protector wears armor. Some wear fur and walk on four paws. The world feared his strength, but the baby only saw his heart. He was never born to harm. He was born to heal. Love found him when no one else would. And in that baby's eyes he finally found peace. They said a dog can't feel like humans do. But he proved them all wrong. He felt deeper, loved purer, guarded stronger. He turned fear into faith and silence into safety. Every heartbeat he guarded became his purpose. Every smile she gave became his reward. He didn't need words to say, "You're mine to protect," because love like his doesn't need language. It only needs loyalty. And even when he was gone, his love remained. In every thunderstorm, she still felt safe, because angels don't always fly. Sometimes they sleep beside a baby and guard her forever.